Hello besties, welcome back to my YouTube channel and to my favourite video of every month, the reading wrap up. This is my July reading wrap up. Oh my god, this is a workout. This is my July reading wrap up. I'm going to talk you through them all with reviews and ratings and what I thought and all of that good stuff. So let's just get into it. So I will start with Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry. I read this at the start of the month. I absolutely love this edition of it, by the way. This Waterstone special edition is just absolutely stunning. The best sprayed edges ever. I love it. This was a 5-star read for me. I'll say that from the get-go. This was a 5-star read for me. We basically have our female main character, Odessa, and she gets forced into this politically arranged marriage of convenience, and she has to like go off with her new husband, basically. It wasn't supposed to be her that was taking part in this arranged marriage, it was supposed to be her sister, but at the last minute things changed and she ended up having to do it, and she was just, her sister had been preparing for this her whole life and Odessa hadn't, so she's like completely thrown into the deep end. She's clueless as to what's going on, so we as the reader, like, we're clueless to what's going on for a lot of it, for you know, for the majority of the book. We start to get answers when she starts to get answers. So yeah, that was quite frustrating, but the payoff at the end was like really worth it. There is a character in this called the Guardian who is kind of helping her along the way, helping Odessa find her feet, but they don't really get on. They're kind of at each other's throats and whatnot. So that's really all I'll say about premise and stuff. But I really liked this. I thought it was really unique. I thought the creatures and monsters and stuff, I really liked that element of it. I could picture it all really clearly in my head. I really liked our female main character because she wasn't prepared for this, and she wasn't like, she couldn't fight, and she just honestly couldn't really do anything. But one thing about her, she was going to give it all a good go. Like, she wasn't just going to sit there and cry and not even bother to try things. Like, she actually really did like get stuck in. Like, she really tried to learn and stuff like that. So I really respected her as a female main character, really liked her. Loved the Guardian, he was just unreal. Loved quite a lot of the side characters. It was just so good. There was a big plot twist, which I actually, for once in my life, I actually guessed it. But even still, when it was like revealed, it was like, yeah, amazing. And it was really chaotic. The last couple of chapters, I was on the edge of my seat. I was like stressed, and it was a lot. But it was really brilliant. I absolutely loved it, and it was a 5-star read for me. I cannot wait for the next book. Oh my god, need it. Nightshade by Autumn Woods. I loved this book. This is the Works Sprayed Edge edition, which is stunning. This is a dark academia romance, and I loved it. I loved the dreary, gothic, eerie setting of it. We're basically following our female main character, Ophelia, and her parents both passed away a few years prior, so she's been on her own for like 5 years, I think it is now. And then she gets accepted into Sorrow Song University, and she already feels a weird way about this university because her parents both used to work at this university, and when they were on their way home from the university, the helicopter that they were in, the Sorrow Song, like the staff helicopter, that was what crashed and that was what killed them. And she believes that like the guy who owns the helicopter company had something to do with it. Like, she doesn't think it was an accident. Anyway, so she ends up going to this university because she wants to make the national swim team, and she just wants to like restart her life. And she meets Alex there, and her and Alex don't get on, but there's a lot of tension there. They find each other attractive, but they really don't get on. And Alex is the son of the guy who owns the helicopter airline thing. So she's really wary of him. But Alex is so charming. The way that these two were flirting in this book, like, I've never read flirting like it. It was like the girl, the female main character, she loves to do crosswords, and he was kind of like flirting with her, like using crossword clues. It was just like the dialogue and the banter and the flirtation between them, I loved. I thought it was absolutely sensational. And then, yeah, bit of a plot twist, bit of a cliffhanger, bit of everything really. I honestly loved it. I had such an amazing time reading it, couldn't put it down, read it in like 24 hours, and I highly recommend it. There is going to be a book 2 to this, which I can't wait for, but I rated this 4.5 stars, and I'm so excited for book 2. Then we've got Kiss the Villain by Rena Kent. This is a proof copy which was sent to me from the besties at Evermore. This comes out this month now. So this comes out in August. I'm not sure of the exact date, but it comes out in August. This is a bad boy. This is a chunky bad boy. This is a male-male romance. It's professor-student, it's age gap, hate to love, forbidden romance, all of that stuff. And in true Rena Kent style, it's very unhinged and it's very dark. For me, I rated this 3.5 stars, and that was because I like Rena Kent books. Like, generally, I enjoy the experience of reading Rena Kent books. I read it really fast, like I was just having a good time reading it. I will say, like I say, it's dark, it's unhinged, check your trigger warnings. For me, it was just lacking plot. Like, I felt this one just lacked plot a little bit. And I didn't, maybe if I loved the two main characters more, I might have liked this more, but for me it was just kind of like, yeah, it was fine. Yeah, it was cool. And that's really kind of it. I don't really have actually much more to say about it than that. But if you are in the mood for like a dark, spicy, unhinged romance, knock yourself out. This will be perfect. Do you know what I mean? If you like the Legacy of God series by Rena Kent, you will see obviously some familiar faces in here, so there's that. Time of Your Life by Jessa Hastings. If you know me, you will know that Jessa Hastings is one of my favourite authors of all time. The Magnolia Parks universe, specifically the Daisy Hates books, they are like some of my favourite books of all time. So I was, of course, over the moon when she dropped a random book release on us. And this is, in this story, we're basically following Isolde, who is, it's set in the 90s, and Isolde is supermodel, big, famous supermodel, wow. And then we've got Joa, who is main man in a band with his brother, gives Oasis vibes because he's from Manchester. And yeah, Isolde and Joa meet and are basically, it's a whirlwind romance from there. They are kind of like, it's insta lust really, I would say. I think it's meant to be insta love, but for me it felt like just insta lust. And then the story just goes from there. We're just kind of following their lives and their romance. And it's very, very turbulent, very chaotic, very messy, very toxic. Yeah. Joa is really quite a horrible male main character. Like, I'm sorry to say that, but he is. And I don't know if a lot of that was because when I was reading about Joa, I was actually getting PTSD, like, from a past relationship, because how toxic and manipulative he was. Like, oh, I just hated it. And like his temper and stuff like that when he'd had a drink, it was just, I didn't like it. But that might be a me problem. Yeah, like I say, for me, this just felt really insta-lust. I didn't feel a connection between the characters. Like, I feel like usually with Jessa Hastings books, the characters feel like this earth-shattering soulmate connection. Didn't feel that with these two at all. So I wasn't really invested in their love story because I didn't really buy in. It didn't feel like a love story. That being said, Jessa's writing is incredible. I absolutely love Jessa Hastings' writing, like, just insane. I also love that parts of it was set in Manchester, so I knew the places that she was talking about. I love that she wrote Joa in like a Manc accent. So like the way that she's written Joa's POV was in a Manc accent kind of thing, which I think is like such a talent that she was able to do that. I think it's brilliant. So just because of like how I devoured it, I loved the writing. I loved that I loved the Manchester aspects of it. I did rate it 4 stars for those reasons, but it's not really one of hers that I would recommend, if I'm being completely honest with you. 5-star read alert. We have got Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I would go as far as to say that this is Taylor Jenkins Reid's best book, like the best book of hers. I loved this so much. So in this book, we are basically, in the present day, we're following Nina Reaver, and she is the eldest of 4 siblings. And every year at the end of summer, Nina throws a party, and this party has become like a famous party. Like, celebrities go to this party. It's full of like scandal and gossip and like socialite drama vibes. And the present day chapters that we get take us hour by hour through the events of the day leading up to this year's party, because it's quite clear from the beginning that the party that is taking place in this year is gonna, like, shit's gonna hit the fan, something's gonna go wrong. And then in the past chapters, we get the story of Nina's dad, Mick, and Nina's mum, June. So yeah, past chapters are the parents' story, which was a very turbulent, chaotic romance, like whirlwind, absolute whirlwind. And then the present day, we get the story of the Reaver siblings, so Nina and Hood, Jay and Kit, who are her 2 brothers and a sister. So yeah, we're kind of focusing on all of those different characters. We're getting those different perspectives. We're getting the past story and the present story, and it was really interesting to see how that all tied together and how things that happened in the present were kind of a knock-on effects of things that happened in the past with their parents and stuff like that. It was just, wow. I adored the Reaver siblings. Those 4 siblings have my heart. Like, I was feeling everything that they were feeling. I cared about every single one of them. I wanted the best for all of them. And I just loved it. I couldn't stop reading this. I had the best time. I loved every single minute of it, and yeah, I don't have one bad thing to say about it. It was actually perfect. It's a really good summer read as well, because it's like sun, sea, surfing, sand, beaches, all of that. So yeah. And we have got another proof copy. This is Willing Prey by Ali Oleander, and this comes out in October this year. Get this on your TBR, get this pre-ordered. This is incredible. This is absolutely such a good book. I was so pleasantly surprised by this book. I did not think that I was going to love it as much as I did. So this is basically like a primal play, kink awakening kind of romance. We follow our female main character, Claire, and Claire is recently divorced. She's drowning in student loan debt, and yeah. Then she gets an offer from her ex-husband's boss, and he's basically said to her, you move in with me and give me like the hunt of my life for 30 days. So like she'll move into his, and like they'll have this situation going on where every now and then she'll like run into the woods and he'll have to hunt her. If she does that for 30 days, then at the end of it, he will give her £30,000. So that's kind of like an offer she can't refuse. She's kind of up for that anyway, because she kind of likes that kind of thing. So she does it. And that's that. I just thought this was just going to be pure filth. Like pure filth and not really anything else. And it was pure filth, but it was so much more than that. It was really romantic. It was really cute. There was some really funny and lovable side characters who I hope we get a book about, by the way, because I want to know more about some of these side characters. So I'm hoping there's going to be like another book. It was just like, it was honest to God just more than I thought it was going to be. I just thought, oh yeah, I'll read this for something spicy and fun, but like it won't really. It'll just be like, okay. No, it was incredible. I absolutely loved it. It just felt really different. I've never read anything like this before. It felt really unique. I really enjoyed it. I highly recommend it. And yeah, like I say, it comes out in October, which is probably a good time because it's like a lot of it is set in the woods and stuff like that. So I think October's a good time of year to read it. So get it on your CBR, get it pre-ordered. I rated this 4.5 stars. Then we've got Good Spirits by BK Borison. I know what you're thinking. This is your July reading wrap up, but you read a Christmas book? Yeah, I did. And that's because I was so lucky to get sent this proof copy from HarperCollins that I wanted to make the most of the fact that I had a proof copy and just read it as soon as I could. And let me tell you, this is about to be the Christmas book of all Christmas books. If you're ever thinking, I don't really like Christmas books, you've just not read this Christmas book yet. This is so good. This is so, so good. We're basically following our female main character, Harriet, and she's a really good person. She's such a people pleaser. She tries to do everything for everyone else, and she's just such a people pleaser. And anyway, one day, on the build up to Christmas, she gets a visit from Nolan. And Nolan is an absolute gorgeous, sexy guy, but he is the ghost of Christmas past. So that's where the magical realism comes into this book, because Nolan is a ghost. He can kind of interact like a normal human and stuff, but he's a ghost. So that's that. And basically Nolan's job is to visit people that have been deemed as like a bad person and kind of take them to revisit their past memories to see what they've done wrong and how they can become a better person and stuff like that. So he's been tasked with doing this with Harriet. And as they're going back to like Harriet's past memories and stuff, they're both really confused. Even Nolan's confused because he's like, she's a good person. Like, why the hell have I been sent to do this? And Harriet obviously doesn't know either. But there obviously is a reason. There obviously is a reason why he had been sent to Harriet. And, you know, read it and find out what that reason is. But this was just so much fun. It was so cute. It was so romantic. It is a Christmas book. It is a Christmas book, and there's mention of candy canes and Christmas time and stuff like that. But it's not like every other sentence is something Christmassy. You know what I mean? So it's not like cringe or anything like that. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was great. And I love magical realism anyway, but I do genuinely think this is going to be the best Christmas book that everyone's ever read. That's that. I rated this 4.5 stars. Rose in Chains by Julie Soto. Oh my God. 5 stars. Let me tell you about it. So this is a romancer, and this is the Fairy Loot edition of it, and this is a book that has been reworked from what was a Dramani fan fiction. So this is not a Dramani fan fiction, this is something that's been reworked from it. So anyway, in this world that we're in, and I'll show you the map, we've got Bamard over here, and then we've got Evermore over here. And the people in Evermore practice mind magic, and the people in Bamard practice heart magic. And during the school year, they both, Bamard people and Evermore people, go to school together, so they know each other, they kind of grow up together. But there is like a rivalry there. There just is. It's a rivalry. And anyway, eventually, one day, Evermore gets basically taken over and infiltrated by Bamard's dark forces. And that means that Bryony, our female main character who is from Evermore, she's the princess of Evermore, she is basically taken captive, and her friends are stripped of their magic. They're put up for sale in this horrible auction, and people from Bamard can like buy them and kind of use them to fuel their magic, and like it's just horrible. It's really, really dark actually, the stuff that they go through and things that happen. And Bryony, as the princess of Evermore, comes at quite a high price, and she gets bought by someone that she knows very well and has grown up with, and that is Torvin. Torvin, is that how you say it? Torvin. I don't really know. But anyway, him. And he is like a really elite member of like one of Bamard's ruling families. So that's that. She's kind of taken captive by him. And that's really all I'll say. But I found this so interesting and so unique. I loved the kind of politics surrounding the mind magic versus the heart magic. I loved the couple of past chapters that we got that shown us when the people of Evermore and Bamard were in school together. So we saw interactions between them, and I thought that was really like essential to the story. The absolute slow burn, sizzling tension that was lurking beneath these pages was insane, like absolutely insane. But that being said, I will say like it is also really dark. Like it is really dark. I would check trigger warnings. Yeah, because of what some of these people go through is absolutely horrific and horrendous. I need book 2 like I need air. Like I need it actually the same way I need oxygen. So there's that. I loved it. I adored it. 5-star read easily. I think about it every day. I loved it so much. It was absolutely brilliant. I highly, highly recommend. The Wedding People by Alison Espats. This is, I would say this is a literary fiction, but I got shouted out on TikTok for saying that. So I believe I'm supposed to say it's general fiction instead. I did Google it and it did say it is literary fiction / women's fiction, but it's fiction anyway. Let's just say that. And this follows our female main character, Phoebe. And Phoebe's life has kind of gone to shit. Everything's just like, everything's not great. And Phoebe goes to Rhode Island. She goes to this gorgeous hotel that she's always wanted to stay at. And she goes there with the intention of taking her own life. And when she's there, obviously she's depressed. And she gets there and she realizes that she's the only person staying at this hotel that's not there for part of this wedding party. So there is a wedding going on for this week, and the whole hotel has been kind of booked out by the wedding party. Phoebe's the only person there that's not part of this wedding. And she meets the bride. The bride is like in her 20s, Phoebe's in her 40s, but the bride can see that Phoebe is very depressed. And she's like, whoa, if you're staying here, you ain't ruining my wedding with these negative vibes. Like, no thanks. And from there, a very unlikely friendship is formed. And it's so lovely and frustrating and funny, and it's just such an unlikely friendship, but it's brilliant. And not only that, then we start to get introduced to characters from the wedding party. So we're meeting the bride's family, we're meeting the groom's family, we're kind of seeing that dynamic play out. We're learning a lot about the bride and the groom. So yeah, there's just a lot going on. There's a lot going on. And this was such a beautiful story. This was so beautiful. It's a story of unlikely friendship, a story of reinventing yourself and finding your own strength and standing up for what you want. And it's just the epitome of the human experience, and it was just great. I absolutely loved it. There is like a bit of romance in there as well. Not a lot, but like just a bit of romance in there. And I just think everyone will relate to some part of this book. Like everyone will relate to some of the feelings that have been portrayed in this book. Everyone will relate to some things that maybe Phoebe was feeling, or Lila, the bride, maybe she was feeling, because she was going through her own stuff as well. And it honestly was just great. It's one of those that like when you finish it, you're just like, wow, I needed that. And that's how I felt reading this. So I loved it so much, and I do highly recommend it. I do think like general fiction, literary fiction is just not a genre that's going to be for everyone. You will either like it or not like it. I love it. I absolutely love it. And this was brilliant, and this was a 4.75 star read for me. In the Veins of the Drowning by Kaylee Cassidy. If you're on TikTok, you have probably seen this book everywhere because it is getting some popularity on there at the minute. And this book follows Imogen, and Imogen is a siren, but she's been basically in hiding all her life because in her kingdom, sirens get killed. Like, they're seen to be horrible, monstrous creatures, and they will just get killed. So Imogen's in this kingdom, but she's been in hiding all her life. One day, a neighbouring king comes to visit, and he knows who Imogen is. Like, he recognises that she is a siren. Guys, I'm really bad at explaining this. And also, I didn't really fully understand it myself, so that's probably why I'm not really making much sense. But anyway, he thinks she's a lost siren heiress. Anyway, and then together, the two of them embark on a kind of quest, on a kind of journey, let's say. And things between them are a bit rocky. They don't really like each other, they don't really get on, but they also do like each other. They also are drawn to each other, and there's so much sexual tension. This man literally is like, people have been saying that Theo is like Anthony Bridgerton level of yearning, and that could not be more accurate. He yearns. If you like yearning, you'll like this book. I personally, I don't know if it's because I started reading this book when I was like in a reading slump, and maybe that's why, but I honestly just wasn't bothered about what was happening. Loved the male main character. Female main character was okay, I wasn't really that bothered about her, but loved the male main character. Other than that, wasn't really bothered. And I don't know, like, I couldn't sit here and say anything bad about this book, so it might just be me. And I think if you like romanticy and you like yearning and tension, then read it. Like, give it a try. Don't take what I'm saying, like, don't let that put you off or anything. But yeah, I wasn't bothered. Like, I don't even think I'd be bothered enough to read book 2, if I'm being really honest. I honestly just really don't think I cared enough about it. So yeah, I will give this 3 stars because I can see why it's getting so popular in books. I can see it, I get it, but just for me, I didn't feel it. Do you know what I mean? So I'm gonna give this 3 stars, and that's that. Chasing Shelter by Catherine Cowles. This is the 5th book in the Sparrow Falls series, which I love. The Sparrow Falls series is a romantic suspense series. Small town romantic suspense, which Catherine Cowles is the queen of. No one writes small town romantic suspense like she does. She is the best. And this follows Ella, and Ellie's dad is now in prison, and he like all her life she'd basically been controlled by her dad. And she just like couldn't even be her own person because he just controlled everything that she did. And then she had a fiance that was also kind of the same and controlled everything. But her dad's in prison now. She's left that guy that she was with, and she's moved to Sparrow Falls because her brother lives in Sparrow Falls. His book is one of the earlier books. And yeah, so she's like, I'm gonna go to Sparrow Falls, this small town, nice fresh start, really gonna find myself again, whatnot, okay? So she does, and that's that. And then she moves into her new place, and her next door neighbour is Trace. And Trace is the Sparrow Falls sheriff, and he's quite a serious, grumpy kind of single dad. And he's got a gorgeous little girl, and yeah, he's kind of just like, follows the rules, very straight-laced, like, yeah, obviously he's the sheriff and whatnot. Anyway, him and Ellie are obviously in forced proximity, and he's like, he finds her quite endearing, I think, because she's just a bit like, she's a bit silly and a bit daft, and she doesn't really know what she's doing because she's like on her own 2 feet for the first time, and I think he just finds her endearing, and he helps her out quite a lot. And then Ellie starts to receive some threats and some creepy messages and stuff, and Trace really is the embodiment of who did this to you. Like, he really is protective of her, and not just because he's the sheriff, but because he's got a crush on her, let's be honest. And Ellie has started to like get close to his daughter as well, so everything's cooking up, but obviously there's this lingering threat in the background of the, you know, like who's sending in these messages, who's sending in these threats, and yeah, it all kind of just kicks off from there, really. It's brilliant. I adore this series. I think if you're not reading this series, then what are you actually doing? Because every book is so good. Every single book is so good. Really enjoyed this one. I love a single dad romance anyway, to be honest, so this was just great. I love Grumpy Sunshine. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. And not to like take away from how great this book is, but it perfectly set up for the next book, which is going to be the last book, and it's the book that I have wanted since book 1. So I'm just really excited. I'm just really excited. Highly recommend. 4.5 stars. Loved it. Now it's time to talk about the books that I read on my Kindle. I've got a list of them here. So we'll start with City of Smoke and Brimstone by Kayla Edwards. This is the 4th book in the House of Devils series. I love this series. That's what I'm going to say first of all. I love this series. It's brilliant. And I highly recommend it. It's urban romantasy. So if you like Crescent City, you like the Book of Azrael, then, you know, it's urban romantasy. You'll probably, it's worth giving this a try. First book was a 5-star read for me. So we're on the 4th book now. And all I can really say, I can't really tell you what this is about because we've got 3 books before it, so if I tell you what this one's about, then I'm spoiling the other 3. Do you know what I mean? But all I can really say is this series and these books would be literal perfection if the female main character wasn't in them. In this book, she was insufferable, I swear to God. The whole world was just in chaos. That's what I'll say about it. Everyone's fighting for their life. Everyone's in chaos. And she is just in a mood about something so trivial and pathetic. And then whenever she's not with her partner, she's then like, oh my God, I hope he knows how much I love him. Oh my God. And then they'll finally maybe find their way back to each other in and amongst all this chaos. And she's like, not speaking to him again. It was actually putting me in I was getting so angry reading it. Oh my God. I was fuming. I wanted to rip her hair out. There's never been a female main character annoy me as much as her. Like, at this point, I actually want the male main character to get back with his ex-girlfriend, who is one of the side characters. Like, genuinely, get back with Lair, because I can't... Yeah. So, that being said, I did rate this book 4 stars. You know what? If Lorraine wasn't in it, it would probably be 5 stars. But Lorraine is the problem. She's so annoying. And that's really, I'm sorry, I crash out about this every time I speak about it, but she gets me so angry. She makes my blood boil. She's so pathetic. She's actually pathetic. And you know what? It's like I was saying about Odessa from Shield of Sparrows. Odessa wasn't this like warrior, magical beast. Like, she had no idea what was going on. Like, she was making the most out of a bad situation. All Lorraine does is complain. Sorry. And you know what, this is rich coming from me, because if I was in a chaotic fantasy world with monsters and magic and every day was a fight for survival, I'd be crying and moaning all the time. But when I'm reading about it, it pisses me off. So yeah, that's that. Lovewell Lane by, what is the author called? Ansley B. Calloway. This is a small town romance, grumpy sunshine, single dad. Basically, Ansley moves to this little town to pursue her dream of opening a diner, and whilst she's there she meets Derek. Not a fan of that name, I'll be honest. It gives old man vibes, and he's supposed to be this hot single dad. Like, it didn't really fit. But anyway, no offense if you're watching this and you call Derek, I'm just saying. Yeah, anyway, cute, slow burn, small town romance, grumpy sunshine, single dad. Cute. Like, it literally was cute. That's all I can really say about it. I'll never think about it again. I'll never ever think about it again. But it does the job. Do you know what I mean? It serves its purpose. It's very cute. It's very lovely. 3 stars. And we've got the Lair by Lucina Kone. Sorry, I've literally said the title and the author's name wrong, I think, but you can see it on screen anyway. This I really liked. This was another small town romantic suspense. We have basically got our female main character who has experienced kind of child exploitation on social media. Like, her mum used to kind of use her for content on social media and stuff like that. And eventually, what was the female main character? What was her name? I can't even remember. Ale? Was it Ale? But anyway, eventually she escapes that life that she was going through, because it was really, like, when you read it, you'll understand, like, it was kind of horrible, and it really does explore that, because I think that is a thing genuinely in real life, like in this day and age, child exploitation on social media, like using your child for social media purposes is a thing, and it does kind of explore the cons of that and the dangers of that as well. So that was really interesting and like eye-opening. And anyway, yeah, she ends up moving to this really small town in Maine and just getting this job at this bar. And the owner of this bar is ex-military, and he's so grumpy, like so grumpy. And he kind of looks after her, like, it's age gap, but he looks after her, he does a lot for her, he's got a soft spot for her, and yeah. But then her past comes back to haunt her, and that's what kind of brings the suspense element to it. I really liked this, really enjoyed it. I thought it was interesting, I liked the romance. The only thing I will say that kind of ruined this a little bit for me was that this book was so deliciously slow burn, and then the pace eventually just changed and went really quick then. And I feel like with slow burn, it's so difficult to get it to go from slow burn to then gradually into the romance, and, you know, like, keep that nice pace. It's very easy to just go slow burn, 100% in. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I don't really I like it to remain that gradual slow pace, but it didn't. It just went like one extreme to the other. So that was the only thing that, like, I didn't love about it. But I definitely recommend it. It was really good. I rated that 3.75 stars. And then the last book we're going to talk about is Forged in Blood by Sadie Kincaid, which is book 1 in the series. I can't remember the name of the series, but it's book 1 anyway. I listened to this as an audiobook, and it's full cast narration, so I highly recommend listening to it instead of reading it, because the audiobook was great. And that's probably why I enjoyed it. Now, this book, we've got vampires, we've got all things like that. I think we've got wolves as well. I can't honestly really remember. But what this book is basically a why choose with our female main character and these vampires, these like 4 vampires. So you can imagine it's spicy as hell, which I honestly loved. And the reason it was, I don't usually read why choose because I always have a favourite and then I get like annoyed as if like she's cheating on one of them because he's my favourite, do you know what I mean? But this one, I loved all of them, so I actually thought it was hot. I loved all of them, so I thought, okay, this is pretty hot, to be fair. This was so unserious, like, so unserious and so cringe. Like, it was almost funny. I think it is meant to be, like, a bit of a high-stakes situation. But, like, to me, it was so unserious, but it was hot. It was spicy, and it was fun. The audiobook, I had a blast. I loved it. Honestly, I did. I really did. And I can't even really tell you anything about, like, the politics of it in terms of, like, the fantasy element, because I don't really know. I honestly weren't really paying attention to that. If you want a spicy why choose with some hot vampires, then read it. But if you want, like, really good high stakes fantasy, intricate world building, like something groundbreaking, don't even bother. But yeah, highly recommend the audiobook. Because I listened to the audiobook, I would rate the audiobook 3.5 stars. And yeah, it was hot. And that concludes my July reading wrap up, which was such an amazing month. I had 3 5-star reads in the month of July, so that is incredible. I have got really high hopes for August because I'm already 2 books into August, because when I'm filming this video it's the 2nd of August and I've already read 2 books and one of them's already been a 5-star read. And the one I'm reading now also feels like it could be a 5-star read. And I've been saying to myself, oh, I think like am I being like too generous with my ratings recently? Like, why am I rating so many books 5 stars? But you know what I think it is? I think I just know my reading taste so well now that I know what I'm gonna like and I read what I know I'm gonna like. Obviously, you can't guarantee that you're gonna like things. And there's some things I read, like I know it's very rare that I'm gonna rate a dark romance 5 stars. I don't think I've ever, I'm not sure I've ever rated a dark romance 5 stars. Same with like cowboy romance. It's very rare that I love cowboy romance and I know when to read them. Like I know when I'm in the mood for them. But it's very rare that I'll rate them 5 stars. But in terms of like my 5-star reads, I just know what I like now. And I think as you read more and more each year, you do understand your reading tastes a lot better. And you discover new genres that you might not have read before that become some of your favourites. For me, that is kind of like literary fiction, historical fiction. I'm really loving that this year. I don't know, sometimes I feel guilty, like, oh my god, like, I'm obviously being too generous. Like, I'm so pathetic. I don't even know why I'm even saying this. Ignore me. But anyway, July was an amazing month. I've got really high hopes for August because there's some new releases that I'm really looking forward to as well. And like I say, I'm already off to a good start. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys have read in July. What was your favourite book, your least favourite book? Did you read any of the same books as me? Let me know if you plan to read any of these books now that I've told you about them. Anything. Just chat to me. I love to have a little chat in the comments. So if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Please do the usual like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate it. And I hope to see you next time. Bye!